peace. So, letting your mind be still and quiet, you know, and how wandering thoughts attract distractions. So, the importance of that is because, well, how do I even start with this? Well, it's important to have like a very grounded and still and quiet mind, especially during stressful times of your life. This will just be like, I don't know how long this video will be, but I just want to get in on it as much as I can and give out the information as much as I feel like I can with this video, So, letting your mind be still and quiet, and how, wandering thoughts attract distractions. And so, what do I mean? What do I mean by that? I mean that, when you go through stress and you have, you're having like a hectic day, perfect example, like at work, when everything is just kind of going crazy and everyone's running around, everything's just running around, your whole world is just going crazy at that moment, everything's going mad. It's like when you're at the work setting and things are getting really busy and hectic and crazy, these are usually the times that it's most important to meditate, or these are the times that it's most important for you to like take yourself away from that craziness and the insanity and all the hecticness that's going around you. These are the best times for you to step out for a moment, take a break, and just find a quiet place to be alone, to be by yourself for a moment. Just recollect yourself, calm yourself down, get grounded, and just like find a sense of calm and peace, and isolate yourself for a little bit so you can relax and calm down and let your mind to relax. Because once your mind relaxes, then your body can relax, then your whole being can relax, and you can revitalize your energy, you can get grounded, and you can get recentered and get a clear-headed focus and get back to work or get back to your project or whatever it is that you're doing. And this just goes in general, for anything in life, because even if it doesn't have to be, work is just a good example, because for me, I find a 9 to 5 being an easy example, because, well, shit, I have a 9 to 5, and it's not always, every day's not the same. So stress is a big factor where I work, particularly where I work. Maybe luckily where you work, or where any of you might work, it might not be as hectic all the time, and it might not exactly be stressful 90% of the time, but where I work, a big majority of the time it gets very stressful. So that was just a good example and an extra inspired example to use. And so it doesn't have to be just limited to work. Being able to to make your mind still and to keep it and to quiet it down is important in every aspect of your life as well, whether it's arguing with people, having fights with people, bickering and arguing with family and friends, and going to social settings and crazy things are going on, everything's loud and chaotic. Sometimes, like I said, the importance of having a still and quiet mind during hectic times is important, because you're not getting distracted. Your inner being, your mind isn't being distracted by what is going on around you, what you're seeing, what you're hearing, and all these crazy things. Because the reason that I also added, wandering thoughts attract distractions, because when you're not having a still and quiet mind, you're gonna wander. Your thoughts are gonna wander left to right, up and down, and in all directions. Your mind is just gonna be floating around everywhere. And so you're not gonna be still. When you're like that, you won't be grounded, and you won't have a sense of centeredness, and your well-being could be at stake, because your mind gets thrown off in different directions, like I said. And so the importance of being able to still your mind and quiet your mind is to just recenter yourself, basically. And so, like I said, work as an example is good for me. It's an easy example because when things are really busy at the workplace, your mind can wander, and your mind can wander into many different realities, which pretty much just means your mind is wandering to other dimensions of your thought, other dimensions of thought, which could be leading you to worse things, making your thoughts even worse, causing you to stress even more and more and more and more. Because when you think of something negative, that one negative thing could be like a ripple effect in the water. When you throw like a rock, a small rock or a pebble in the water, it creates that ripple effect, and that ripple effect could grow bigger and bigger, and it expands in the water. It's the same thing with your thoughts. When you have one thought, that one single thought leads to another, and leads to another, and leads to another, and leads to another, and things can get worse within each and every thought because they multiply. And so that's why when it comes to stressful situations, again, work is a good example. So like stress at work, at the workplace, it's the crazier it gets, the more it's time for you to really step out and get that space for yourself to just clear yourself, get yourself together, find yourself for a moment, and like recollect your thoughts and get grounded and get centered, because essentially what you're doing is just recollecting the energy. You're grounding yourself, and you're recentering you're recentering like your consciousness back at peace, and you're just getting yourself calm, and you're de-stressing from all the stress. So that way you're keeping yourself from attracting more negative things and more stress, which is, this is like not going to be that long of a video for right now, because I'm just speaking on the importance of having a still and quiet mind, and pretty much, the importance of meditation, and overall why meditation, especially nowadays in the conscious community, and just in overall, not even in the conscious community, even just meditation over the last many years has just become a normal part of like mundane human life. Even people who aren't conscious or who are not into consciousness, meditation is just another outlet or a hobby or interest or pastime or an activity that people pick up on now. No different than the gym, taking walks, jogging, running, exercising, yoga. Meditation is just one of those things that are just part of everyone's like daily activity, or one of the daily activities of their life. But yes, the importance of the importance of meditation, still and quiet mind, because you're just getting away from all the hecticness and the busyness and the crazy insanity of the world, and you're just quieting your mind, keeping it still, and recentering yourself so that you can have that proper guidance to really know what you have to do. Because when your thoughts are wandering, your thoughts are going to start being influenced by your emotions and your feelings and stress and negativity. And like I said, it's a ripple effect. So whatever negative thought you're thinking about at work or wherever you are, that thought will lead to another, and so forth 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 and so forth. Before you know it, you've lost yourself. You're not even centered anymore within those thoughts and thoughts and thoughts and thoughts, based from the origin of the stress. You've lost yourself because you're no longer centered, you're no longer grounded. You've been manipulated by your emotions and your thoughts and the stress. And so you've now lost your real spiritual connection and guide within yourself, because now like the outside world and people around you and the things around you and all the busy crap happening all around you and the stress all around you have now had an influence on your actions, or your thoughts first, which then became actions, because now you're acting upon what you feel like you need to do next. You're acting upon what you feel is the right thing to do now. And that's why it's important to just get away from it all, still your mind, have a still mind, and having that sense of being quiet for a while. And these are just the importance of meditation and just recollecting yourself and being centered. And again, this goes for anything. Work is just an easy example for me, but this can go for any aspect of your life where you're dealing with people outside of yourself, you're dealing with outside things, external things, watching a movie, talking with people, interacting with people, dealing with debates, arguments, being around other people who are bickering and talking about this, that, and the other, work-related things, things happening in public, anything external and outside of you causing like stress and getting you to focus outside of yourself, and these certain external things and how they're starting to influence like your thoughts and your beliefs. These are just good times to get away from those things and just recollect yourself. Because once you recollect yourself and get centered and get grounded, you'll have a stronger connection with your source energy, your spirit and your soul, whatever you want to call it. And you're getting back in tune with the real actions that you wanted to produce based on the messages you get from your spirit. You're tuning in from within. And those are just things you don't want to lose. You don't want to lose your great internal power and your spirit guide to outside things in your external world, because the things in the external world can or may be very distracting. And so these are just the importances of letting your mind be still and letting your mind be quiet, and having the awareness that wandering thoughts can attract distractions. Because the thing is, once you have a certain thought about something, once something outside of you like influences your beliefs or your thoughts, because just remember that everything starts with a thought. So when you think about something, or you see something, you see somebody, you see something happen, you heard about this, you heard about that, when external things outside of you are starting to creep into your mind, then when they creep into your mind is like feeding into those things, and now you're gonna attract like thoughts to those things that you are witnessing or experiencing outside of you. So now they're kind of throwing you off from your original standpoint of like focus. Like this is basically just a way for you to get away from the distractions, which are external things. So it could be anything. It could be people at the park, people at the bookstore, people at the mall, people at the club, people at the grocery store, people at work, people walking down the street, cars, motorcycles. It's just all external things outside of you. And then you give those things enough emotional thought and energy, then you attract those things. Next thing you know, you've been thrown off, you've lost your grounding. And yeah, this is just a short video about meditation in a sense, and the importance of having or being able to let your mind be still and be quiet, and just being mindful that wandering thoughts, and this doesn't have to be in a setting of where everything is really hectic and busy. This could apply to like just like you being you. Your thoughts are constantly wandering. That's another thing. Like you have like a monkey mind, because your mind, it's called a monkey mind because your mind is just jumping from one branch to another branch. Your mind is just like jumping from one thought to another thought to another thought to another thought. Like your mind doesn't stop. Your ego, your mind, none of that shit ever stops. That's why meditation is powerful, and it's important, because you're able to take control of your real thoughts and what's within you, and you're just able to ground yourself and be centered, and being able to keep your mind quiet so that you can hear the real messages from your spirit, because your mind is just gonna wander and constantly wander. That's the nature of like your human mind, of your human brain, is just for it to constantly wander and be like a monkey brain jumping from one tree to one branch to another. Like, your mind never stops wandering, actually. It's just like that 24/7. And like I said, everything starts with a thought. So your wandering thoughts, your wandering mind with the wandering thoughts, are what's going to keep having that monkey mind behavior, just jumping off from one thought to another thought to another thought, which is constantly distracting you because it's throwing you in all kinds of different directions. This video really should have just been called the monkey mind, or like being aware of the monkey mind, but I'm sticking with my original title, letting your thoughts, or letting your mind be still and to be quiet, and wandering thoughts attract distractions. And yeah, with that being said, keep an eye out on your monkey mind, and the importance of meditation. Get in more in meditation and quieting your mind, especially during hectic times and the times of your life where it's really busy and everything's just going nuts. Those are the best times, I would say, to meditate. It's always good to meditate and to get quiet and recenter yourself from the world outside of you. That's always important, but all I'm saying with this video is it's especially important when things are just going crazy. Everything's just going like bazooka. So yeah, with that being said, I'll catch y'all later, and peace.